I don't know why it's taking me this long to make an episode on jealousy. Because honestly, it is really fascinating to me. It has all the qualities I seek out when I get curious. It's intense, it's messy, and let's be real, everyone feels it at some point. But the funny thing is, nobody ever admits it. Ask anyone if they've ever been jealous, and they'll swear on everything that they are above it. They'll say something like, me, jealous? Never. But in the same breath, they'll say, I think my best friend is low key jealous of me. Like, come on. What's even weirder is how we can talk about almost every other emotion with no problem. For example, when you're hanging out with friends, you can openly discuss feeling anxious, depressed, or burnt out. People will usually nod and show empathy, but to say you have felt very jealous is not nearly as socially acceptable. Why is that? Why does jealousy carry so much shame and discomfort, even though it's so common? Before we examine the why, let's deal with the what. If you were to define jealousy or describe what it feels like, what would you say? Maybe a couple associated words come to mind first: insecure, bitter, possessive. This weird mixture of fear and sadness tied to some inadequacy you feel. You could describe it as a silent competition you never agreed to be a part of. Passive aggressive, like a backhanded compliment, or avoiding someone just because their success stings a little bit. It's interesting how I can describe what it feels like, but can't define it per se. Still, if I were to attempt it, I would say jealousy is an inward focused emotion that shows up when someone else's success or happiness makes you question your own worth. It's fear, it's sadness, it's that nagging sense of why not me, all tangled up into one. Jealousy also happens in stages. There's a big difference between feeling jealous and acting jealous. And it's in that gap where things either stay manageable or start to get really messy. Feeling jealous is pretty straightforward. It's internal. It's that quick, instinctive reaction, like when you notice your partner getting a little too friendly with someone else, and you feel that surge of jealousy. Or when someone you know shares good news, and for a split second, you can't help but feel a little off. Maybe they just got engaged or landed a dream job. And for a brief moment, something in you dips. You want to be happy for them, and maybe you even are. But there's also that uncomfortable feeling that you can't ignore. And here's where things start to shift. We almost always end up acting jealous immediately after feeling jealous. Sometimes it's just a change in tone or the way we hesitate before offering congratulations. It's very subtle. We don't realize it. This is because between feeling and acting jealous, we go through what researchers call jealous thinking, where your brain starts building a story around what you're feeling. You start making comparisons, you start replaying conversations, assigning meaning to things that might not even be there. You tell yourself, they don't deserve that. They're probably just showing off. I work just as hard, but no one notices me. These thoughts are irrational, but they feel true in the moment. It's your mind's way of trying to make sense of the discomfort. And if those thoughts sit with you long enough, they start to spill into your behavior. This is what's called jealous behavior. The stage where emotions start shaping what you actually do. It's not as impulsive as acting jealous. This one's more calculated, more intentional. Maybe you start flirting with someone else at the party as a form of payback or a way to get your partner's attention. Maybe you leave someone out of a group chat or post something online to make sure a specific person sees it. It's petty and it often looks harmless on the surface, but it's driven by the same core emotion, jealousy. But it's just wrapped in performance. You're not just reacting anymore, you're responding. You're trying to even the score in ways that feels justified, even though you wouldn't admit that out loud. But if we're going to really understand jealousy, we have to look beneath the surface. Because the real question isn't just what it looks or feels like, but what causes it in the first place. Why do certain people or certain situations trigger it while others don't? Why does someone else's win sometimes feel like your loss? That's where things get a little more revealing. You see, jealousy isn't just about what someone else has. It's about what their success reflects back at you. This is where we get into some shadow self psychology, the part of yourself you've ignored, buried, or denied. Jealousy has a way of shining a light on the things you secretly want but don't feel ready to admit. It's not always that you want their life per se, it's that something about their life reminds you of a version of yourself you haven't fully stepped into yet. It's a mirror, it's a clue, it's a signal pointing towards something you value. Think about it. You don't get jealous of things you don't care about. If you're already fulfilled in a certain area, someone else's progress in that space won't bother you. Like if you're already thriving in your career, you're probably not going to feel threatened by the new intern getting a raise or getting praise. You might even feel proud or indifferent. But when someone else's moment highlights something you lack, something you've avoided or postponed or failed at, that's when jealousy hits. But all of that emotional flush is just information. It's pointing you to something that matters to you, whether you've owned it yet or not. You learn a lot about what you truly value by paying attention to what makes you jealous. And that's precisely why it's so hard to talk about. That's precisely why we struggle to admit jealousy. Because to admit that we feel jealous is to admit that we care, maybe too much. It means confronting the parts of ourselves that feels inadequate or behind. It means saying out loud, I want something I don't have. And that can feel like failure, like weakness, like losing. Jealousy doesn't fit neatly into this emotional vocabulary we've been taught to use. So we swallow it, we reframe it, we pretend it's not there, we project it onto others. We say things like, oh, she's just jealous of me, instead of ever considering that we might be the ones holding that feeling. So here's what we need to do. The next time you catch yourself feeling jealous, don't shame yourself for it. Jealousy as an emotion is absolutely normal. The tricky thing about jealousy is that the more you try to suppress it, the more it shows up in other unhelpful ways. People walk around with this idea that it's wrong or shameful to feel jealous. But the truth is, you can't always control how you feel. What you can control is how you respond to it. So start by validating it, acknowledge it, sit with it. Don't try to shove it down or outrun it. Sometimes just saying to yourself, yeah, I feel a little bit jealous right now, and that's okay. Sometimes that takes the edge off. It lowers the emotional charge. The second thing is to look for what other emotion might be sitting underneath your jealousy. Because most of the time, we're not just feeling one clean emotion. We're feeling a mix of emotions. Emotions overlap, they bleed into each other. So when jealousy shows up, it's worth asking, what else am I feeling right now? Let's say you're at a party and you notice your girlfriend being flirty with someone else. You feel that hit of jealousy. Fine, acknowledge it, but look a little deeper. Maybe you're not feeling that great today. Maybe you've been off your game. Maybe you're feeling anxious or low or depressed. Maybe you've never really been good at parties and social situations like this already put you on edge. That doesn't mean your girlfriend isn't being a little extra, because she might be. But your emotional reaction might be amplified by everything else going on internally. The point is, a lot of times when we feel jealous, it's not just about the surface trigger. There's often sadness, there's often insecurity, loneliness, or even fear sitting right underneath it. And when we can slow down enough to look behind the curtain, it helps us respond from a more grounded place. The third thing, and probably the most powerful, is to try turning your jealousy into inspiration. I know that sounds a bit cliche, but hear me out. Jealousy is information, and you should flip it that way. You only feel jealous because you care. Never forget that. For example, if you're jealous of someone's creative work, maybe it's because you want to express yourself more. If you're jealous of someone's confidence or relationship, maybe it's a sign that you're craving connection or self worth. The key is to look at what exactly you're jealous of and ask yourself, is this something I want more in my life right now? If yes, how can I start moving into that direction? Take assertive action. Remember, feeling jealous is different from acting on it. So instead of ruminating over what you can't control, shift the focus to what you can do. What's one small step you can take to move closer to what you want? Channel that energy into something that actually serves you. So when next your friend is yapping on about all the amazing things she's about to do, or casually drops that she just found out about some huge inheritance her great granddad left her, and you feel that good old jealousy surge creeping in, don't beat yourself up. Don't spiral into, oh my God, why am I feeling this way? She's my friend. I'm not supposed to feel jealous. What's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you, bro. You're human. You can be happy, for someone and still feel jealous at the same time. Those two things can't exist together. What matters is what you do next. You sit with it, you name it, and then if it's pointing you towards something you want more of in your life, you get to decide what you're going to do about it. That's the difference between staying stuck in jealousy and using it to move forward. So relax and feel your emotions and stop running away from it. It's not a big deal. Everyone experiences it. They might keep denying it, but at least you're being honest. Thanks for listening, and if you've enjoyed this episode, please share the show and give it a rating too. I won't lie, I get a little jealous when I see some of this dead, shitty, brain rot content pulling crazy views while we're over here serving up thoughtful, relatable mind food. So help a brother out. Check out the other episodes in the library too. The YouTube channel is also having some momentum, so subscribe to that also. I'll be back on TikTok posting like old times as well soon. Look out for that. I appreciate it. Until next time, stay free.